As we explore quantum body and the reality beyond, today I would like to reflect with you on how knowledge is different in different states of awareness, how experience is different in different states of awareness, and how reality is different in different states of awareness, and how the one I am projects itself as different states of awareness. So, I am is the witnessing awareness, the background of every experience. Okay, it is the background of every experience in waking, dreaming, and sleeping. So, let's start with the waking state, which presumably you're in as you're listening to this information. You must be in the waking state, I presume, looking at your computer or handheld device. The waking state is a projection of our consciousness, and it is through our senses. So, unlike Western scientific thinking, where the senses inform us about the world, in Vedantic and Buddhist traditions, the senses don't inform us about an external world, but they rather project the experience of the world, and this is a cornerstone of both yogic and Buddhist philosophy. This perspective challenges the common assumption that our senses passively receive information from a pre-existing objective reality. Instead, this understanding suggests that our experience of the world is actively co-created by our mind and our senses. So we have five senses and the mind, and this creates the projection that we call body and world in waking state of consciousness. There are many ways to understand this. One is the entanglement of vrittis. Vrittis are fluctuations of consciousness. So in yoga, vrittis are mental fluctuations that shape our experience. The senses become entangled with these fluctuations, projecting interpretations and meanings onto raw sensory data. Then, of course, in yoga, and in Sankhya, there's the whole idea of vibrations or shaktis. And so both Buddhist traditions and yogic traditions recognize subtle energetic vibrations that form the basis of reality. Our senses and minds interact with these vibrations, interpreting them as the tangible world and ourselves. And there's interdependent co-arising. The Buddhist concept emphasizes the interconnectedness of all phenomena. Nothing exists in isolation, but rather arises in dependence on other factors, including our perception. And then there's the whole idea of emptiness of self or formless being. And this confuses a lot of people. It doesn't simply imply nothingness or the absence of consciousness. Instead, it points to the lack of a fixed, independent, and permanent self or body or world. Our sense of self, like everything else, is seen as a dynamic and impermanent process arising from the interplay of sensations, thoughts, and images. So that non-self or non-self applies to the ego identity, but it also applies to our true nature, which is formless being. And this formless being has no location. It isn't confined to a particular place. It is neither inside or outside the body. It's more like a constantly changing pattern of experiences. Furthermore, experiences are intermittent. Even the body, often considered the anchor of self-identity, is an assemblage of impermanent processes. Our perception of a solid, continuous self is an illusion created by our mind. Understanding these concepts, the illusory nature of self and world projection, can have profound implications for our everyday lives and spiritual practice. It can lead to reduced suffering. By letting go of attachment to a fixed self, we can become less vulnerable to negative emotions like anger, fear, and craving. Also, this leads to increased compassion because we recognize at the level of being the interconnectedness of all things. And this fosters a sense of empathy and understanding for others. And it opens us to liberation. If self and world are seen as projections, then the possibility of transcending these limitations and experiencing the underlying formless reality becomes more tangible. Okay, so this is the waking state. We are, through the conditioned mind and senses, projecting the experience that we call physical reality, including the physical reality of the body. We are projecting it. Once we understand the dynamics, then the projection in the waking state can be upgraded. And ultimately, collectively, it can be upgraded to a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. So that's the waking state. You can see experience is different in waking state, knowledge is different in waking state, reality is different. Now let's come to the dream state. That's another fluctuation of I am. Okay, we say I had a happy dream. I had an unpleasant dream. And you can see that there are biological consequences of the dreams. People sometimes have sexual dreams and their biology responds correspondingly. They have scary dreams, their body responds accordingly. Blood pressure goes up, heart rate variability decreases, platelets get sticky, etc. So the waking state, different mode of knowing, different biology, different reality, and different experience. Now let's come to the deep state. What do we experience in deep state? Peace, even joy, or ananda as it's called. What else do we experience? A sense of well-being. Those are experiences in deep sleep. So there is awareness in sleep. How do we know that? Well, if you're in deep sleep and I make a loud noise, you wake up. Okay, that means there was awareness in deep sleep. Okay, or even, even if there's no noise, if somebody touches you or taps you, you wake up. So there was awareness. Also, when you are in deep sleep and it's disturbed, you're annoyed. Why are you annoyed? Well, because you were enjoying the experience of deep sleep as a state of well-being, peace, joy, and happiness. Having said this, all these are experiences. These three states are experiences projected by I am. I am is the background, the common non-changing factor in waking, dreaming, and sleeping. By anchoring ourselves in I am, always waking, dreaming, and sleeping, we actually go beyond even the fourth state, which is witnessing awareness. We go into something called cosmic consciousness. And we learn to be in the world and not of it, local and non-local at the same time, by anchoring. And if that is sustained, that cosmic consciousness leads to divine consciousness. We see that every object is a divine knowing. Every object is a divine knowing. You look at a book and you say that's an experience, but the experience is knowing. And the knowing is I am. So this is I am. this is me in disguise, every object. So in divine consciousness, every object is imbued with the presence of I am. And that can lead to ultimately enlightenment, which is we realize that I am is the universe and that I am is me. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the universe. You are the universe. And that's also called liberation. So let me know if you find this argument convincing.